Hello guys, how are you doing? In the last couple of videos, we've talked about speed and velocity in great detail. We saw that speed is nothing but rate of change of distance with respect to time, while velocity is rate of change of displacement with respect to time. Now in today's video, we'll talk about another important physical quantity that helps us describe motion, and that is nothing but acceleration. Now acceleration, guys, is nothing but the rate at which the velocity of an object changes, or in other words, acceleration is the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Now, all of us do intuitively understand the idea of acceleration. For instance, when we press the accelerator in a car or when we twist the accelerator of a motorcycle, we know that the vehicle speeds up along a straight line. Now, speed along a straight line is nothing but velocity. So from here you can see that acceleration is basically change of velocity with respect to time. So based on this, we can write acceleration mathematically as change in velocity of the object divided by time. Now time here is the time taken for the change of velocity to take place. So to understand this better, imagine a car moving initially at a velocity u meters per second towards the right direction. At time t equal to t1 seconds, the car begins accelerating with an acceleration small a. Now the car continues accelerating till time equal to t2 seconds, after which its final velocity becomes v meters per second. Now what do you think is the change in velocity of our car over here? Well, it's nothing but final velocity minus the initial velocity of the car. This comes out to be v minus u meters per second. Also, the time taken for this change to take place is nothing but t2 minus t1 seconds. So based on these data points, we can modify our acceleration formula as acceleration small a is equal to v minus u divided by t2 minus t1. Now, to further simplify this formula, we'll replace t2 minus t1 with just the term small t, where small t represents the time taken for the change of velocity. So this changes our formula to acceleration a equal to v minus u divided by small t. Now this is also the general formula for calculating the acceleration of any object, so you must keep it in your mind. Now let's talk about the unit of acceleration, shall we? So in the formula you can see that in the numerator we have velocity, while in the denominator we have time. Now the SI unit of velocity is meters per second. So this means we have meters per second unit in the numerator, while the SI unit of time is second. So we have seconds in denominator. So from this you can see that the unit of acceleration actually comes out to be meters per second, or we can simply call it meters per second square. So guys, the SI unit of acceleration is meters per second square, and I want you to keep it in your mind. Now the next important thing I want you to remember is that acceleration is actually a vector quantity, which means we need both magnitude and direction to completely define it. Now the magnitude of acceleration is nothing but the magnitude of change of velocity with respect to time, while the direction of acceleration is same as the direction of change of velocity. Now these definitions might sound complicated, but what I'm really trying to say is that the formula that we have just learned, that is a is equal to v minus u by t, helps us calculate both the magnitude as well as the direction of acceleration. Let me show you how with some examples. So here we have a situation where an object's velocity changes from 12 meters per second to 16 meters per second in 6 seconds time interval. Also, throughout the course of its journey, the object travels in right direction. Now, given these two pieces of information, you are supposed to calculate the acceleration of the object. Your time starts now, guys. Okay guys, time's up. The right answer for acceleration here is 2 by 3 meters per second square towards the right direction. You see, acceleration is a vector quantity, therefore we need to specify both its magnitude and its direction in our answer. But how do we get this? Well, it's easy. We use the formula a is equal to v minus u divided by t. But because velocity is also a vector quantity, we need to put their values while keeping in mind their correct directions, or in other words, while keeping in mind their correct signs. So essentially, we need to assign a sign convention to our problem first. So assuming right side positive and left side negative, we can say that the initial velocity of our object is plus 12 meters per second, while the final velocity of our object is plus 16 meters per second, as the object continues traveling towards the right direction throughout the course of its journey. Apart from that, the time taken for the change of velocity is 6 seconds. Now, once we put these values in the formula of acceleration, we get acceleration A is equal to plus 16 minus plus 12 divided by 6, which upon simplification comes out to be plus 2 by 3 meters per second square. Now, the positive sign here represents the right direction according to our own sign convention. So guys, here you can see that this formula A is equal to V minus U divided by T helped us calculate both the magnitude as well as the direction of acceleration. So you don't need to worry about those long definitions I told you before. Just remember that this formula gives us both the magnitude as well as direction of acceleration. To understand this point better, let's solve one more problem. So here we have another scenario where an object's velocity changes from 15 meters per second to 5 meters per second in 10 seconds time interval. Once again, the object travels only in the right direction throughout the course of its journey. Now, given this information, you are supposed to calculate the acceleration experienced by the object. Your time starts now. Time's up. The right answer for acceleration is 1 meters per second square towards the left direction. Yes, the direction of acceleration in this case is opposite to the direction of velocity. Now, why is that the case? Let's go check it out in the solution. So once again, let's begin by choosing a sign convention for our problem here. So I'm assuming right side to be positive and left side to be negative. This means the initial velocity of the object u comes out to be plus 15 meters per second, the final velocity v comes out to be plus 5 meters per second, and the time interval for the change of velocity comes out to be 10 seconds. Now from this, the acceleration a simply comes out to be plus 5 minus plus 15 divided by 10. Now this is nothing but minus 10 divided by 10, or simply minus 1 meter per second square. Now the negative sign according to our sign convention represents the left direction. So we can say that the object experienced an acceleration of 1 meter per second square towards the left direction. So once again you can see our formula A is equal to V minus U by T gives us both the magnitude as well as the direction of acceleration. Now another interesting observation in this problem was that acceleration acted in the opposite direction of velocity. So whenever that happens, you'll always see that the velocity of the object ends up decreasing over the course of time. So here, the acceleration has a braking effect on the object. That's why whenever acceleration acts in the opposite direction of velocity, we call it with a new name, which is deceleration. So remember, if the velocity of an object increases with time, we say that the object is accelerating. However, if the velocity of an object decreases with time, we say that the object is decelerating. And of course, needless to say, if the velocity of an object stays constant with time, or in other words, if an object undergoes uniform motion, the acceleration experienced by the object is zero. So technically, the concept of acceleration is only associated to non-uniform motions, because whenever an object undergoes uniform motion, the acceleration is always zero. Now, there is one concept related to acceleration that I haven't talked about yet, because it is a little tricky to understand for some people. So I want you to pay all your attention while I say this, because it might be tricky to understand for some of you as well. So let's go back to the very definition of acceleration that we learned previously in this video. We saw that acceleration is nothing but change in velocity with respect to time. But you see, velocity itself is a vector quantity, which means it has its own magnitude as well as its own direction. So what do we really mean when we say change in velocity? Do we mean change in the magnitude of velocity, or do we mean the change in direction of velocity? Well, as it turns out, the change in velocity means either the change in its magnitude or the change in its direction. And of course, if both the magnitude and the direction change together, we certainly say that the velocity of the object is changing. So from this, a very interesting point comes out. Even if the magnitude of velocity of an object is constant, but its direction is changing, we say that the object is accelerating. Now, based on this, I can think of two cases. In the first case, the velocity's magnitude changes while its direction stays constant. And in the second case, the velocity's magnitude stays constant while its direction changes. Now, what do you think could be a good example for our case 1 here? You see, any object accelerating along a straight line would be an appropriate example for case 1. Because when an object accelerates along a straight line, its direction stays the same while the magnitude of its velocity increases. On the other hand, what do you think is a good example for case 2 over here? Now, this might be a little difficult for some of you, but a good example for case 2 would be an object moving along a circular path at a constant speed. In that case, the magnitude of velocity would stay the same, but the direction of velocity would change at every instant. We'll talk about motion along a circular path in an upcoming video in this chapter itself. But for now, I want you to understand that an object is considered to be accelerating when either the magnitude or the direction of its velocity changes. And with that, guys, let's end our video today. I hope you had a good time learning about various aspects of acceleration. In the next video, we'll talk about some graphical methods that we use to analyze various kinematic problems. For now, let's summarize whatever we have learned so far in this video. Acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Acceleration is a vector quantity. Mathematically, acceleration is defined as a is equal to v minus u by t, where v is the final velocity of the object, u is the initial velocity of the object, and t is the time taken for the change of velocity. When acceleration acts in the same direction of velocity, the velocity of the object ends up increasing. On the other hand, if the acceleration acts in the opposite direction of velocity, the velocity of the object ends up decreasing. This is also called deceleration. When an object undergoes uniform motion, the acceleration of the object is always zero. Therefore, the concept of acceleration is only associated to non-uniform motion. An object is said to be accelerating when either the magnitude or the direction of its velocity changes.